In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to construct an elegant looking pair of spiral-based earrings. The tools are simple. All we need is our cutters and flat nose pliers. And of course a ruler to measure the metal. The earrings are based on two components: a straight length of wire that's bent into this spiral formation, and the coil. The same coil that we use to make our simple jump rings. Now the coil is used as a coil. It's not cut up into jump rings. And you could attach any kind of bead that you'd like to this. The wire is nickel silver. So let's begin our construction. I'm going to cut myself 2 lengths of wire, nickel silver wire, 6 inches long, and I'm going to make myself 2 coils that are composed of about 8 loops. Brace the wire. You could form the coil on anything. A nail. You can use your round nose pliers if you want a tapered coil. I guess that would be called a cone. Hold it in place. The object that you use to make the coil will determine the width of the coil. And of course the amount of loops that you make determine the length. Now I said I wanted, what did I say, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, a little more than 8. It looks like 9. But that's easy to fix. Cut it. Trim off the excess. Okay, let's see. I want them both to be the same. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's nice. Nice length. Put the coil back on the object that I used to create it, and use my flat nose pliers, and I press down on it. That gives me a nice tight coil. You can't create this earring without the coil. The coil interlocks both spirals in one unit form. And this premise, 6 inches of wire and coil. A couple of years ago I decided to see how many designs I would come up with based on that. I limited myself to the 6 linear inch and the coil, and the hundreds of them. I came up with hundreds of different pairs of earrings that were all very uniquely different, of which I'll demonstrate a few. So, 1 coil, let's make another coil. Hold the wire in place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gave myself a little excess, anticipating that I'm going to lose a link or two, a loop or two in the trimming. Are they the same size? The first one's a little longer, so let me trim off a loop. And why waste the loop? The loop becomes a nice little jump ring, so I'll put that on the side for later use. I have my basic parts. I have the coils, I have the wire, I have the ear wire, which I don't make. I buy these ready-made. You can buy them in a craft store. I could make them out of sterling silver or gold, of course. Let's try a different bead this time. I have these nice blue beads. So, step one, what do I do? First thing I do is I take my 6 inches of wire, and on any cylindrical object, I give it a curve. I like to establish a preliminary curve. This makes the bending of it easier later on, without kinking. That's the idea, to get a curve to the metal so the metal doesn't kink. Okay. Having done that, just so things hold in place, I start the inner coil. I take my wire and I begin the inner coil. The inner coil, you start exactly the same way that you do when you make the coil for the Egyptian link, so it might help to look at the Egyptian link video. I'm not going to do any more than that though at this point. The whole purpose of that is to prevent the coil from falling off. Right now it's just to hold the coil in place so you can get started. Eventually it becomes the decorative component of your earring. Alright. In an effort to keep earrings symmetric, I like to do similar steps at the same time on both earrings. Okay, so I'm going to begin with my coil here. No more than that. Now onto this, I'm going to slide my coil and my bead. We have a curved piece of wire. We begin a spiral. Then we attach our coil and our bead. We're going to do the same exact thing with the other one. I have my wire that I began the spiral. I place my coil and my bead. Now the next thing you have to do is bend the wire up and around and insert it into the coil. The coil is what's going to hold it in place. Having done that, you begin to pull a little bit of the wire through. I'm going to take my flat nose now. I grab the tip of that and I'm going to create a spiral. The spiral is based on an S-link curve that I've demonstrated in a previous video. And I recommend you practice. This is not that easy, but after you practice it a few times, you do get it. So I'm creating a spiral. Now notice, the spiral is not being wrapped tightly around the pair of pliers. It's sort of floating around the plier. The plier isn't exactly touching the spiral that I'm forming. See? Pliers hold the metal in place and then the metal spirals out. How many times to turn it around? I like to turn it around once, one full spiral, and then up around until the center is facing down. That's my rule of thumb. Once around and then continue again until the center is facing down. The ear wire will be attached to this outer loop. Now we have to complete the inner spiral that's based on the Egyptian link. So, turn it around, comfortably position ourselves, and begin to spiral it. when that spiral has gone 2 complete loops around and the inner is starting to face up, I stop. Now you have to play with it. You have to finesse this a bit to pull it into decent shape. There we have it. The basic earring shape. Ready to be attached to a ear wire. Now to complete this step, I just have to make the other half of the pair. So I'll lay this down. I'm going to quickly move through this. Like I pointed out before, I brought that one time around, and then as that points down, I stop. Now to do the inner, based on the Egyptian link. Now, since we're making a pair of earrings, what I like to do is I like to take the one that I'm working on and line it up with the one that I just made to make sure that they're the same size. And they're not. You see, this is bigger, but that's good. It's a good indicator of what I need to do. I need to keep on spiraling the inner loop. I needed to play with them a little bit more, adjust the shapes, and I could still adjust the shapes to bring them into a better symmetry. But the final step now is to add the ear wire. So let's do it. I take an ear wire, I grab my flat nose plier, I open it up, I attach it, and I close it. Now let's see how this one is going to fall. So, I place the ear wire on opposite sides. This one needs to go like that. Open it up. Attach it, close it. Spiral. 2 different kinds of spiral and an inner coil.